Hey everybody. Today I'm going to share with you one of the things that I love most about ChatGPT when using it for Excel, and that's creating data sets. Generating data sets for the sake of testing and for these videos, really, to have something unique and be able to use that for data analysis. The one website that I've used before this, and I'll show you this quickly, is called Kaggle.com. And so if you go in here, there's all sorts of data sets that you can pull from. There's some trending ones. You've got, U.S. college rankings, gold prices, all sorts of statistics and things like that that are in data form. I don't know how accurate this is or not, but for the sake of having a data set to use, that's something that I've used in the past. But the one cool thing about ChatGPT is it can create data sets for you on the fly. And what's really cool is that you can create a very custom prompt to generate exactly what you want. So here's an example. So let's say I'm telling ChatGPT, create a table for me. And now what I'm going to do is specify the details. So there should be 4 columns. And I'm going to specify, the name, which would be first and last name. Let's say age. And then for the city, I'm going to say this should be a city in North America. Annual income, I'll specify this should be a range within $50,000 and $100,000. But the one thing I don't want round numbers or numbers without decimal places, because I don't want it to look truly random. So I'll say, please avoid using whole numbers and round numbers. Okay, and I'll also specify the city field should have 5 cities that repeat over and over. And I'll say I need 50 rows. And I hit enter. And so now it's going to create this in table format. And as you'll see, I've got the same 5 cities repeating over and over: New York, Los Angeles, Toronto, Chicago, Vancouver, New York, Los Angeles, Toronto, Chicago, and Vancouver. So you've got those same cities. So this says, gives me a few rows as an example. So in this case, when ChatGPT hasn't finished your request, you've asked for 50 rows. Obviously, I've got far less than this. You can just say continue, and it's going to go on and add more rows. So if you have a request where you've got 100 rows, it's not going to spit out all 100 at once. It's going to give you it in chunks, depending on how much you ask for. I think anywhere from between 30 to 40 normally is what I found that it generates. And again, we can just say continue, and it's going to continue on and generate that data. And then afterwards you can decide, okay, that you still want another 50 rows, or that you decide that you want more data. You can make another request, say that asks it to create more, but not to repeat any values that it's already generated. So I could say, okay, create another 100 rows. Please do not repeat any values you have already generated. So now it'll check for duplicates to make sure that it doesn't have anything that it's already repeated. All right, so you may see a bit repetitiveness with ChatGPT in terms of some of the names. It seems to really like the names Sophia and Olivia. Like, I see those quite a lot in these randomly generated fields. So there's some quirks like that you'll see where ChatGPT has an inclination to use some names more often than you might expect. So again, we can just hit continue, and it'll continue on generating. And then once you've got that, this is something that you can really easily, copy and paste into Excel. You've got it in a table format, and then it's just a matter of cleaning up the borders and all that sort of stuff. And now you've got, a data set that you can use. And obviously you can have more columns. You can specify what kind of rules, whether you want duplicates, whether you don't want duplicates. So I would encourage you, just to, frame it in a way where, you've give it a bit of guidance. The main thing you want to say is, create a table to put in a table format, specify how many columns, and then a header for each one of the columns. So, ChatGPT is smart enough to figure out that, I've got a name followed by a colon. So it knows that that's going to be the header. It knows what I'm talking about when I'm talking about age. So I don't really have to specify that, I'm looking for a number between, 0 and 99 sort of thing. For city, you can specify, what part of the world, whether you want it to repeat or not, because obviously with cities there's a lot of possibilities there. You may not want every possible city in the world. And for annual income, put ranges. But obviously there's a ton of possibilities here with creating a data set, so you don't necessarily have to go hunt for examples, or look for data sets, maybe even clean them up, that sort of thing. With ChatGPT, you can create a data set on the fly that you can use for your own testing purposes. And like I said, it's really useful as far as using it for creating videos, and not having to hunt down what data set makes sense, which one does what I want. Because in some cases I might want to go over, practicing something with duplicate values, something maybe that doesn't have duplicates, something that may have, certain fields and others doesn't. So it can be challenging sometimes to find exactly what you're looking for. With ChatGPT, you can tell it exactly what you want, and it creates that. So that's definitely one of the most useful features I've found with this, is that it can put it in a nice table format, give it instructions, and it does that for you. So hope you found that useful, and thanks for watching.